Well, fellas, we saw a wild one. We got lots to talk about. We have some controversies to talk about, some coaching changes to talk about, some tears that were falling on press conferences. This has been an amazing playoff so far. Let me digress, though. Guys, I want to go over let's go bottom to top with our playoff picks so far. I do want to brag a little about this podcast. We said that there is there's a good chance that we would see a firing with the Buffalo Bills coaching staff, and the mainstream media, for some reason, thought we were delusional. They didn't comment on us, but they never brought it up. And guys, we're going to talk about that. Little tease. Stick around. We want to talk about our little Nostradamus moment that we had. But let's start with this. Caleb, because you're often the lone wolf and you love so much taking a chance on these picks, you are currently 5-5 on your playoff picks. Josh, you and Tim are neck and neck at 6-4. So 6-4, you're above 500. Caleb, you got a chance to come above it this week. Our boy Ethan, 7-3 in picks. If he didn't,
nice.
Yeah. No, he's that Texans team for him. That
that hurt him. Yeah.
That's hurt both of you guys a little bit.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
And unfortunately, your boy here is 8-2. So
Let's go.
but thank you. So far, we got a couple more to go, and I'm excited to talk about it. Let's dive right in. Lots and lots to talk about, even though we have what we call a short week. Let's talk about a couple overtime games, starting with the Denver Broncos, Buffalo Bills. This was the AFC Divisional start off for our weekend. Guys, it's sad because there's some consequences with this one. Let's talk about consequence number one, Caleb. When they were saying with Bo Nix on their screen, here's a picture of a man going to his first AFC Championship game. He's standing on his left or right foot, whatever one wasn't broken, grimacing, knowing that he had to do a press conference immediately following, with which he never said he was standing on a broken foot. Terrible news for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, it's terrible for the team, and it's just terrible as a person to see that as a guy who's worked his whole life to get to this point, and he can't finish out for his team, so that sucks to see. But Broncos, I don't know. I feel like they'll be fine. Jarrett Stidham's a veteran. We've seen him fill in before. He's been okay. And I think Sean Payton's not a moron. He's a great coach. And this defense is obviously one of the best in the league. So going forward, I think they'll be okay. They'll be competitive. But as for this game, the Bills just turned over the ball way too many times. And obviously we saw the defense for the Broncos at work here. Josh Allen was at 5 turnovers in this game. Not great football at all for them. You could see still, we say it every week, the lack of receiving talent on this team, as Dalton Kincaid is their number one receiver again, and Khalil Shakir had 9 targets for 75 yards. So they need a wide receiver. Sean McDermott, obviously we'll talk about it later, is no longer the coach there because of these things that haven't been fixed according to their organization's eyes. So unfortunate for him. But the game, it could have been won if there weren't so many turnovers. And obviously the controversial pick.
Yeah, let's go around the room. You're covering a lot of ground. Yeah. Let's get some people a chance to talk.
Right.
So in this game, this is an overtime game, as I mentioned. Cornerback McMillan intercepted Brandon Cooks. Tim, let's put it this way. I think the vast majority of NFL fans that I'm seeing around the league when I'm looking at social and different things, with all due respect, they don't understand the catch rule, apparently, because I understand the controversy. Even Joe Burrow got on social media to comment about it. But I don't know. We all saw it. The referee up in the booth saw it and said immediately, there's nothing to review. This is an interception.
Yeah, I mean, it's close. I mean, there's no one that's going to say it's a slam dunk, whatever, because obviously Cooks did have the ball in his hands at some point.
Josh would say it is.
Josh would?
Yeah. Well, when you're done, I'll let Josh get around.
Well, I'll just throw this out. It reminds me a lot of the Fail Mary play. Do you remember the Fail Mary where Packers played? Yeah, with the replacement refs. And at that time, they said that should have gone. The NFL came out later and said that should have been the Packers. It should have
been.
Right.
Yeah.
The difference between this one is this guy came away with it. It is a little bit different, but I hate that. In the NFL, in NFL postseason, sorry, I'll throw it to you in a second, Josh, but I don't like when things just come down to one play. I know it didn't, but I just wish that was either clearly one way or the other without just taking the debate out, because at the end of the day, one team won and one team went home.
Right.
And I'd much rather be talking about that than just one play. But
so Josh,
unpack that one play. Go
unpack it, but let me give you a headline from Yahoo Sports. This is the way they worded their argument. Yahoo Sports said many argued Cooks had possession and survived the ground, but McMillan came up with it. Your take on this? I think that's all a farce, but you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I just think that you take away the best play of that game if you don't give it to McMillan. And I think that he had equal possession to Brandon Cooks the entire time, and he happened to be in one motion, take away the football and roll over. He just had way more to do with that play than Brandon Cooks ever did.
Yeah.
And I understand how possession works. Obviously, if they're fighting for the football after an extended amount of time, then it would go to the offense. But there was none of that. I mean, Brandon Cooks. Are we really counting, falling to the ground while catching it as being down immediately?
Right.
I just don't see it as a definitive case for saying that Brandon Cooks should get it. I think it just the scenario of the Bills the last couple of games has been, oh, we're desperate, let's just chuck it up to Brandon Cooks. Like, oh, that's awesome. It's worked a couple of times. I just think because it didn't happen this time for them, that there's a little bit more drama to that speculation. And I think that it was very clearly, McMillan's side that won that battle.
Okay, Josh, before we move on, I want the other guys to chime in. Rams-Bears, fourth quarter, Devontae Adams. He was in traffic, caught the ball, went down to a knee after he had maintained possession, made a football move, and was considered down by contact, knee on the ground, someone touching him. The ball comes out, and people are saying it's the same thing.
I mean, the one where he had his knee on the ground,
right? Just like I said,
shot, and then it got knocked out frames later. Yeah, I don't think it's the same thing.
People are saying it's the same thing. It's very similar. Caleb, you're shaking your head.
Brandon Cooks to me did not have enough motion to even like it. He made it able to be an interception more so than he made a catch.
Right. To me, the tell, Caleb, I want you, or Tim, you got something, but to me, the tell was Brandon Cooks is trying to bring the ball in with one arm, and McMillan is essentially grabbing the ball. And as they go down, he clearly has it wrapped up, McMillan clearly had it, and Cooks was not able to even get a second arm on it until it was clearly in it. Anyway, Tim, you had a point about this.
Yeah, well, my point just is we've said all year long, just going big picture here, that there's not a phenomenal team in the NFL. There were a lot of really good teams this year. And I think this just kind of proved the point, because going into the game, we said that Denver, right? Did we all pick Denver? Right? I think. Yeah. We all kind of felt like Denver was not only the better team, but by a pretty good stretch. And you look at the game the Bills had. They had, what did you say, Caleb? 5 turnovers?
Yeah.
It was a lot of turnovers. Let's just call it that, right? They had 5 turnovers, and this game went to overtime. So what does that, and this is more just like a deep question. Well, it's not that deep. It's football, but more just like what does that game tell us? Does that game tell us that the Bills were better than we thought they were? Like, in other words, like they were a better team all year long than we thought they were? Like, in other words, 1 or 2 less turnovers, they win that game? Or does it tell us that the Broncos maybe aren't as good as we thought they were because they barely got by a team that turned the ball over 5 times in a home game after a bye?
Mm-hmm.
It's just something to think about, I think, which makes you go. And I actually we'll get to picks next. I still weirdly like the Broncos, but like for this coming week. But I'm just not sold that any of these teams are like unbeatable.
Yeah. Go ahead, Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb.
Yeah, I think Josh said it when it was happening that if the roles were reversed and Jaquan McMillan was falling to the ground, and he had a hand on it, and then Brandon Cooks ripped it out and ran away, it would be a great catch for Brandon Cooks, and there would be no question, which is a good point. But also, I think Brandon Cooks' reaction also tells you kind of what happened. I think he didn't get up and try to fight for it back. He didn't think that it was a catch.
That's
I don't
right.
think.
That always is the tell.
Yeah, right. And then so I think that's the biggest takeaways for me.
I have one point to what you just said and one thing that Tim said. I mean, obviously, I think it's the little things for the Broncos. I mean, they're the number 1 team in the NFL. I don't think anyone would say that they are definitively, unequivocally the best team in the NFL this year.
Right.
But they've taken care of business, and they've taken care of those close games, and they've won and taken care of the small details to win those games. So they've done a great job at that. Obviously, they have a quality coach. We know Bo Nix is very talented, and they have a great defense. They have all the things that point towards winning in the NFL, and they did it at a great level, high level this year. But I think also with it being Jaquan McMillan, a East Carolina subpar athlete on paper at the NFL level, nickel corner, undrafted, 5'10". He has 1 percentile arm length for the cornerback position,
Gosh.
meaning that he's among the lowest. He is not athletic on paper at all. And I just the question that comes to mind is if this is Pat Surtain playing against Brandon Cooks and he picks off the football, we're talking about how, yeah, this is the defensive player of the year. Those are the type of plays he makes. Like, this is what you expect. This is such a good play. Yeah. But no, it's undrafted Jaquan McMillan, who's happened to have started the last several years, despite all odds. He made the play of the game, and we're discrediting it.
Right.
They drafted Jahdae Barron this year in the first round to replace him, and he still kept his job.
Right.
So,
yep.
I think, guys, here's the bottom line. Like, they're going to miss stuff. They're going to get stuff. I was sold, like, for me, one, I understand the catch rule. Two, Cooks was, like you said, his disposition was failure, not one of accolation. Also, they asked the ref that's, on commentary with him. He's like, oh, this is clearly an interception. Like, there was very little doubt. Also want to say that, and Tim, I think I mentioned it in our group chat during the week. That same drive started with a safety in the end zone where Josh Allen was essentially there. No mainstream media's talking about this, but it's a clear hold, and they didn't throw the flag. So go back and look at it. No, they don't want to end. I get you don't want to end the game on it.
Talk about a debacle,
but it was a hold. It was a clear hold nonetheless.
I know. Yeah,
and you don't want to be like safety. You lose. No,
game
and then
over.
Not to mention the next game we're going to talk about. With the let me hold the press before we talk about that. Any other points that we want to make about Broncos Bills before I move on to the next?
Yeah, one more about the Bills. It's kind of serious, kind of lighthearted, joking. Are they cursed? Because I feel like every game in a playoff game ends in a weird way. Remember the overtime rule? They changed it because of them. Then they had the doink kick the year after, and now they have this. And then in previous years, they've gotten to the dance and haven't finished. Like there's always something with them in the playoffs. I just don't know what it is.
You're referring to what I'm going to call the poltergeist theory. Let me explain that. In the 1980s, there was a famous horror movie with which a house was built over top of an Indian burial ground, and it became like a fictitious, fantastical horror thing. They're here or whatever. They're saying that because Rich Stadium or whatever it's called now was built on the site of some ancient burial ground, that next year when they move into their new building and away from this burial ground, that they will suddenly outlive the mojo that's kept them from winning since the 90s. Hogwash, but it's fun to bring up, huh? Is that what you were thinking?
I believe it. Look at them. But
yeah, they're pretty bad. All right, a team that has no problem playing in their home stadium, Seattle Seahawks, absolutely wiped the floor with the battle-beaten, injured San Francisco 49ers. Another controversy with their little power plant we're not going to talk about. 41-6 Seattle. Caleb, you were lone wolfing on San Francisco. We tried to talk you out of it, but you went with it anyway.
Yeah.
Guys, this was this right off the bat, I believe their trade with the Saints paid off in 6 points when they opened the game. It was just a rout. Josh, it was an absolute rout. And again, that the 49ers have been beat up for a long time. It's amazing they got this far, so it had to happen sooner or later. Sam Darnold, 12 of 17, 124 passing yards, touchdown despite that oblique injury. Your take on this game?
Yeah, the Seahawks have just a ton of momentum. They had the opportunity to sit the previous game, or previous week, because of being the number 1 seed. The ability to trade for Rashid Shaheed, he might not put up, gaudy receiving numbers, but he's been an all-pro returner, I believe, twice now. Very talented guy, and you saw that first play. You saw it with Derek Carr time and time again, just the deep bombs, just the opportunity is always there.
Yeah.
And so they're very explosive offensively. Their defense is terrifying. They're healthy outside of the unfortunate ACL tear to Zach Charbonnet during this game, which was very casual. You just kind of saw him get off and then right away, and then no emotion there. But that's going to be a problem for them. Kenneth Walker has been a starter in this league. He obviously splitting with Zach Charbonnet, so they need a little bit more from him in this upcoming game against the Rams, which his best 2 games this year have been against the Rams. So he gets a chance to showcase what he's been doing well throughout the season, and I think that they're looking good. They're looking healthy. I'm excited to have some difference in the Super Bowl, as in having a Sam Darnold or having, Drake May, Jarrett Stidham, somebody. But yeah, we'll see.
Tim?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a San Francisco fan, I got good news and bad news for you. The good news is you just had a heck of a season. I think your coach did a phenomenal job. Your quarterback, your running back, it did. Everyone overperformed.
That's it.
Which is great. Right, that's it. The bad news is, I think, unfortunately, Robert Saleh leaving, which we'll get there in a second, but him leaving, that's going to have a huge impact because you look at the Niners without a really strong defensive coordinator. I don't know. They've struggled, and so that's the hard part. And there's not too many moral victories in football because you realize how hard it is to get back here. So, as a Niners fan, you might want to sit there and go, "Well, moral victory is look at how far we got with basically a emergency squad, like half the teams on IR." It is impressive. It's a great little whatever. But the
Coach of the
end of the day, you didn't win, right? Yeah. So and Seattle looked phenomenal. So Seattle did what they needed to do, and that I had no problem with them continuing to run up the score because to me, that's a division opponent. You put your this is the playoffs. This isn't like week 3 or some. I love it. Good job, Seattle, and a nice season, San Francisco.
Caleb?
Yeah, Tim touched on it, but injuries, this is just the testament to the 49ers season, I think. I mean, Brock Purdy missed time. We saw Mac Jones start. Everybody other than McCaffrey until this game was hurt. Literally everybody you could think of on the roster, they were hurt or missed time this year. Every receiver, everyone on the O-line, everyone in the linebacker room, everyone in the corner room, everybody but the kicker, I think, was hurt this year. So obviously Seattle set the tone immediately and then just didn't take the foot off the gas the entire game. So, yeah. It was just unfortunate, and I think injuries just caught up to the 49ers finally because they held it together for 12 wins this year.
Right. Some wide receivers were so hurt that they got their contract voided. Hurt.
Yeah.
Should have gone earlier. Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. This game, guys, I'm surprised. Listen, this is why I've said for years, I hate that the Coach of the Year, MVP, all this regular season stuff waits till the playoffs because now you have to judge this blowout against a guy. And, I'm not, he's not my favorite guy. How can I like the 49ers? But
he only had 160 yards, though, so it's okay.
No, I'm talking about Coach
Sam Darnold.
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
When do they vote though, Dave? Because don't they give the awards out the day before the Super Bowl or no? Or the night before? So when do they actually vote? Do you know?
Well, here's the problem. We don't know because it seems like here's my point, and I say this every year. A guy like Shanahan gluing a team together with, guys he picked up off the street to play linebacker for Pete's sake.
Literally.
Yeah, he should be considered a Coach of the Year based on his individual record. Forget the playoffs. It's not a playoff record. It's a regular season record.
Right.
And they always get skewed, in my opinion, based on playoffs. So I digress.
The claim is that it's, before the playoffs ever happens.
I've seen too many Tom Brady awards in the past that proved to me they waited till he was, on fire in the playoffs. Okay, speaking of Tom Brady, New England Patriots are at it again, guys. 28-16. This was tough, guys, because unfortunately, I think, we talked about some turnovers on Josh Allen. Patriots forced 5 turnovers against Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, including 4 interceptions, and it made it a very comfortable win for New England. If you watch the game, I know the score wasn't outrageous. I got you, Caleb. Score was 28-16, not outrageous. But if you watch the game, guys, Josh, I was screaming that they put in Davis Mills, personally, because outside of his rookie season, C.J. Stroud, Caleb, has not been stellar.
Yeah, I'll keep it short so y'all can have some points because I get a little ahead of myself sometimes.
We're going Tim next. You're on deck, Tim.
I said last week, I'm pretty sure either me or Tim said it, but if C.J. Stroud is flat in this game, there's no way they're going to win, and that's exactly what happened. We don't know who C.J. Stroud is. He had a great rookie year, a couple flashes his second year, and now he's really done nothing outside of 2 or 3 games this year. So not a great showing for them. It makes you scratch your head a little bit because Davis Mills filled in this year and looked really good. I think they won all those games that he played. It's not a good look for him. So yeah, Patriots look really good.
Tim?
Yeah, Houston's defense, we all agreed all year long, top defense in the league, or top 2 at least, right? Maybe them in Seattle. But you can only do so much when your offense turns it over that many times.
Yeah.
And I think, like we said last week, was you had to have a pretty clean game. And they didn't have a clean game the week before against Pittsburgh. And so we said, if they can clean that up, I think they can beat New England. And I maintain that. I still think that's true. I think if even if he had only thrown 2 picks or 1 or 2 picks, I think we're talking about the Houston Texans right now. But unfortunately, just too messy of a game. They're wasting a really good Houston Texans defense, which is a shame.
Yeah. Josh?
Yeah, I know Caleb alluded to it, but CJ Stroud in his rookie year has really, I think, given people too much hope in what this offense can bring with him. I just don't. Ever since they've had that offensive coordinator change from Bobby Slovic, their offense has just not been great. They've gotten more from Nico Collins, you could argue, but maybe that's just the natural development of him in the NFL, and you can't credit that to a different offense. But CJ Stroud was statistically the worst quarterback going into the playoffs. Like, we can't be surprised when he plays like the worst quarterback. Now, we could be surprised when he has 8 turnovers or whatever he had in 2 games. That's terrible, and you should expect to lose both those games. But CJ Stroud, it wasn't a lack of chemistry. He was just flat out missing his rookie receivers. It looks like he's just very, I don't know, tensed
Pedestrian.
up or very sporadic. He doesn't look comfortable at all.
Right.
He generally will revert to Christian Kirk, the veteran, in the red zone and not really any other option. I know Dalton Schultz left in this game. I know they entered the game without Nico Collins. It wasn't going to be easy. The running game was not doing anything with Woody Marks against a tough defense, obviously. But I just think that but I think that the general public has too many high expectations for CJ Stroud, and he's proven reasons in the playoffs, especially in their second week. Every single year under DeMeco Ryans, that he just is going to turn into the worst quarterback in the playoffs, and
Sure.
he showed it again. So nothing against him. It's just happened 3 years in a row.
Well, I think we've said famously on this show, like, you look at the success they had in Washington with a rookie quarterback, you look at the success they had in Houston with a rookie quarterback. You're new, you're athletic, you have a strong arm, you're able to get away. You're really running for your life and learning a scheme, and when no one has tape on you in the pros. So if you have a good reaction time, which he does, and a strong arm and able to get out of the pocket, you do pretty good, But all of a sudden they start getting tape, and they start seeing your tendencies, and they start seeing your inconsistencies, and they start understanding you as a player. And guess what? Year 2, you're not so good. And to be fair, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, Davis Mills came in and looked every bit as good as, if not better, than Stroud did throughout the time that he was starting for this team, which told me, A, Davis Mills has probably got a better grasp of this offense than he does, and B, Stroud is very pedestrian.
He has been.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying he's the worst quarterback going into the playoffs, to be hateful. But, you look at someone else. The Panthers were probably viewed as the lowest rated team going into the playoffs, and Bryce Young had the same amount of yards, 5 or 6 more touchdowns combined with rushing. There's no question here that CJ Stroud was being held up by his team in the playoffs more than anyone else.
Yeah, because who's Bryce Young throwing to other than Ted McMillan, who's looked good? Who's on his
Jalen
defense?
Coker had the game of his life.
Yeah,
You're right. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, they traded their best receiver to the Bears, who, by the way, started balling out in their game against the Rams. Rams win in overtime, 2017. But this one, another one, Caleb, we talked about controversial calls. Tim, I'm actually going to start with you. We talked about controversial calls. Fourth quarter, I'm sorry. There was a very blatant roughing the passer call, that was hands to the face, whatever you want to call it, that did not get called. There was some ignored pass interference calls both ways.
Both ways, yeah.
Obviously, guys, these plays, take 3 or 4 seconds to happen, and you're expecting an official to catch everything at every angle. I get it. Unfortunately, fortunately for this game, I don't think it had anything to do with the matchup, because we watched as, Caleb, you were the lone wolf on this one, and you almost got your wish because your boy dropped back and threw a ridiculous come from behind pass to get the go-ahead touchdown to a tight end that was wide open in the end zone. So what's your take, Tim?
Yeah, I think after that miraculous throw, and a phenomenal throw, you got to give Caleb credit, right? I mean, he's been doing it all year long with these insane comebacks, right? There were a few things I want to talk about. One, I hate that play call by the Rams of McVay on 3rd down of just running the ball.
That was so weird.
Remember that? Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I thought that was a terrible play call because you get the first down, game over, right? Second, I think once the game went to overtime, I think everybody in the world thought the Bears were going to win it, right? All the momentum was on their side. I'm sure you guys have seen it, or if you haven't, they played the interception that Caleb Williams. I can't believe here I am, a Packers fan, defending Caleb Williams.
Oh.
Record this, watch it.
Oh, it's
But
recorded.
it's not Caleb Williams' fault, right? Yeah.
No.
DJ Moore gave up. DJ Moore ran the wrong route and ran a very lackluster route. They were wide open.
The Rams were wide open.
What's that? Yeah, the Rams.
Yeah.
But DJ Moore runs the correct route and he makes that completion. We're talking Bears in the championship game right now. I mean, that's how big of a play that was. Bears, I've said all year long, they remind me of the 2024 Washington Commanders, who had some magic. Don't forget how impressed we were by Washington last year. They knocked off the Lions. Like that was phenomenal. But we'll have to see, because the Bears won a lot of last-minute games. If you're a Bears fan, I know you're very excited going forward. But it's a very good game, and good job for the Rams. Good job, way to hang in there.
I mean, they're calling it the Windy City Miracle, the 14-yard Hail Mary type, pass that he threw up, followed by this ridiculous. And again, I've heard a lot of people on social arguing, saying, well, this guy sucks. He threw a pick at the very end, like. This is what you get with this young quarterback. And I think you hit it right on the head. The receiver was not – Josh and I were watching it, and Josh, you looked at me and literally and pointed at the TV like, what is this guy doing? It was a receiver.
Were you guys shocked that they didn't try to ice the kicker at the end? I thought for sure they were going to ice him, right? They had the timeouts. Even when they kicked the game-winning field goal, I said, I was like, oh, wait, that's not real, because I thought for sure they had gotten the timeout in beforehand. But, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, guys.
No,
you're fine.
Who wants to jump in next? Who wants to talk about this?
I was going to say, just briefly on the play that Tim's referring to, they were on their side of the field. The Bears started calling timeouts. If they got a first down, they would have won the game. I think it was 8 yards, or maybe they got pushed back a few more yards. But they just gave up the down and kicked it to the Bears with 2 minutes left, and we're like, hey, here you go, which didn't make much sense. But I think it points to what the Bears did to turn over the football, which they were pushing the ball down the field. They could have, coasted down the field and just kicked a longer field goal, if anything. They had the game in their hands, and then they end up forcing it as they have the whole season. The Bears are built with this offense under Ben Johnson to go for every single big play that they can. If it's a short yardage, like I think one of his responses to the tush push was like, why would I ever run this play? There's no opportunity for it to be a big play ever, so he would never run that play. And that's the type of offense that they run. So the Rams, knowing this, we're going to try and let the Bears, I think, make the mistake. And it worked out because DJ Moore, in our opinion, was the one that messed up there. But the Bears go for the big play that they thought was safe. There's a miscue there. There's a misconnection there with the receiver and the quarterback, obviously. And I think the Rams got what they bet on, but probably not the way they wanted it to be, because the Bears were very much so going to win that game.
Yeah. Caleb, wrap it up.
I think it was a good game all around. I mean, that Bears defense, hats off to Dennis Allen. He's a heck of a DC. I mean, even Sean McVay said after, he's like, you guys were all over us. He used some other words, but basically said you did a great job. Matt Stafford sacked 4 times. Those safety blitzes are scary. Jaquan Brisker had a sack and a fumble, I believe, and I believe that Kyler Gordon did as well. So they were hitting them hard on defense, and that was great to see, because I know, like Josh said, they are an offensive team. But they did have the most takeaways this year, too. So that defense, I think, is a little underrated with them. I guess, but I guess not with how many points they let up, but still. I think overall the Bears played very well. They played pretty safe, though. They punted the ball, and I think they should have gone for it there on that one. I think it was in the fourth quarter, maybe third quarter. I can't remember. But a little more conservative than I like to see out of my guy Ben Johnson. But it was a classic game. I think it was one you could rewatch and be like, "This is a great game." I think it was just a good game.
Should they have gone for 2 on that crazy touchdown at the very end?
Josh said
They were
going
to do it.
I said, Josh, do they really have it like that? Like, are they really going to pull that trigger?
You just
imagine
the crowd is going insane. You just if you're box score watching, you don't know how great it was, because it's just a 14-yard touchdown.
That's insane.
But it's like 50 yards in the air, spinning around, back foot,
fade away.
I think they should have, because I think they would have put fear in the hearts of whoever they were playing next.
Right? Yeah. Send a message. Yeah.
That would have been sweet, but. Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I'm not a Bears fan at all. I like Caleb Williams a lot. Obviously, he showed how he's a top 10 prospect in the last decade. Very high upside player. I hate using the term Mahomesy, but he has some Mahomes in him, I think,
Well,
and that he's clutch. I mean, the most comeback wins in the fourth quarter for a quarterback in the season.
7.
I mean, they're the second seed in the NFC. There's a lot to be excited about. I know. I hear Tim's point about them being like the Commanders in the previous year. And I agree to a certain extent, but I think that if Dennis Allen sticks around and this defense is healthy and this team is just built the way it is right now, I think they're pretty scary in that division.
Well, an offensive-minded coach, and certainly, Johnson he needs a defensive coach to be yin and yang. Additionally, we've seen this is Caleb Williams' sophomore slump, and he didn't hit one. In other words, he got better in year 2. Daniels did not, and he's been injured. Additionally,
can I talk about that?
Yeah,
just for 1 second. The only quarterbacks, I think, I looked at this a few years ago, but the only quarterbacks really to be drafted that highly and have quarterback slumps in their sophomore year were Baker Mayfield and C.J. Stroud. Everyone else has ultimately gotten better in year 2, unless there's been an injury, like Jaden Daniels didn't really have a chance. But
you mean
Drake
every
May,
other
obviously.
Every other great quarterback has gotten better in year 2.
I'm saying out of highly drafted quarterbacks that showed signs of quality quarterback play in year 1, and we could look forward to them being good in year 2. They were better than they were year 1, other than Stroud, other than Baker Mayfield. And you could say because they had such a great rookie year, but you see what Caleb Williams and Drake Mays did. They played at the top of the league. There's no question. There's no argument there.
Let me close it out by saying this. What I like about Caleb looked down the field. If you look at the game, he knew his receiver ran the wrong route. He bit his tongue. Press conference, they said, let's talk about it. He goes, I haven't had a chance to look at it. If you give me a chance to look at it. In other words, he could have thrown his guy under the bus and said, hey, he zigged instead of zagged. I thought he'd be there, and my guy wasn't there. He didn't do that. Kudos to a guy that everyone said is a prima donna. He could be difficult. This guy could be a challenge. He's not at all.
He's been a leader on that team.
He's been a very strong leader.
He's been, I'm rooting for him. I like him a lot.
Yep. All right, we're going to shift gears. We're not going to talk about the championship weekend coming up because that's 2 games. That'll be easy. Tim, I need to get Ethan's picks as well. Shoot him a text if you will. No, if you hadn't already got it. But let's do this. If you're a fan of the show, you've known for years we have done a little thing called buy or sell. So I'm going to start with these 10 off-season coaching vacancies. 10. Several of them have been filled. We're going to do buy or sell. I'm going to start with Josh or Caleb, who famously is calling the Tennessee Titans the Blue Jets.
That was me.
All right, so Caleb, you
I
get
can't
to start.
take credit for it. I saw it somewhere, but the Blue Jets is just funny.
We're going to trend with it. Let's talk about the Blue Jets, Tennessee Titans. They have hired Coach Robert Saleh. Buying or selling?
I mean, I have to sell. I mean, it's the Blue Jets. It's the Titans. I mean, they're trash. I
like it.
I like Cam Ward a lot. He showed some upside the last month of the year. He looked really good. He looked comfortable. He looked better. Shamir Dike broke the all-time rookie record in scrimmage yards as a returner and a receiver. Tajay Spears, Tony Pollard looked great at times. Their defense, it started humming at the end. I mean, they're all too young. They started, I don't know. I mean, no, Sir Robert Saleh is not going to make this team much better. Their defense could be better, but they really need a good OC in there to help mold Cam Ward into being an NFL quarterback. So I'm going to sell. I think it's going to be the same old of what we've seen Saleh in his career with the Jets.
Tim, buying or selling?
I agree completely with Caleb. I'm selling. They went from they brought in Harbaugh, right? Or they're lined up to interview Harbaugh at least.
McCarthy too.
Stefanski. They want the Titans did. That's right. Yep. And they settled with Robert Saleh, who just everything Caleb said. I was just go watch a Jets game from the last few years and then tell me you're excited about Robert Saleh. Come on, great defensive coordinator, but with a young QB, you need an OC and you need a good offensive mind. I don't like this fit at all.
Josh, buy or sell?
I think because it's the Tennessee Titans and how they just have not been great without Mike Vrabel. I feel like it's very easy to be like, yep, this team's bad. And I don't disagree, but I think that it's from what is made available, I think it's a good hire. I think you look at what the Jets defense was prior to him going there. I know they drafted Sauce Gardner. I know they drafted Jermaine Johnson.
Corner Williams.
But they went from a absolute terrible defense to one of the better defenses over his 2-year turnaround afterwards that first season, or after that first season. I think he did a great job there. And then you look at the type of players that they have on defense here. They basically went all defense other than Cam Ward and DK and Aya Manor last year. So they got Kevin Winston, Oladejo in the second round. And then their defensive players played extremely well. Tavondre Sweat, Cedric Gray, Cody Barton, L'Jarius Sneed used to be very good. And then our Jeffrey Simmons. So I think what he does very well, defense, he has a ton of talent there, at least more than what the 49ers had this year. And he proved himself. They statistically did nothing. If you looked at the sheet, you would think that the 49ers were an absolutely awful defense, according to their takeaways, their sack numbers, their tackles for loss, everything. But they still played at a high level.
That's right.
Despite that. And I'm not saying at a high level, at the top of the league, but I'm saying they were really good despite doing nothing.
Competitive. Yeah.
The Titans defense, I think he'll turn around. I know it's a young quarterback. He has flashes. They didn't give a chance necessarily because he had Zach Wilson, which was a bust. That's fine. But then he gets Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. So he wasn't exactly dealt the fairest of cards as it came to the quarterback position. Right. He tried to run away from Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson had to come back.
So you're buying or selling this one? You said selling?
I'm going to buy.
You're buying. Okay.
I think he's proven himself as a leader, and is able to turn around a defense, especially.
Okay, let's move on. Pittsburgh Steelers, as of late, do not have a quarterback. However, they're on their second interview, I believe, with Flores, and they're bringing in Mike McCarthy tomorrow as of the day we're recording this. So they will have a coach hopefully sooner than later. Let's stop with the team in New York. The New York Football Giants hiring John Harbaugh. I'm not going to play buy or sell because I think we all buy this one. Is anyone selling?
No.
Quality coach.
No.
He said the reason he did it is because, his dad was a coach and that, he's always respected the integrity of the league. And this is a franchise that deserves to be returned to glory. And he fully expects to win a championship. Kudos. Great guy. Great coach. We're all buying this one. Okay. Here's one we can stop on. Josh, going with you first. The Miami Dolphins have selected Jeff Hafley to be their head. Are they smoking something?
I deserve to go first.
This is Tim's first.
Yeah. Tim, I guess you're going first.
Jeff and I, we go way back. Am I buying or selling? No, I'm selling. Again, I don't remember if we had this conversation off. We had this conversation off the air, maybe no, we did have it off the air. Some of these coaches are just better as coordinators, i.e., Robert Saleh. I think Jeff Hafley has done a great job as a defensive coordinator for the Packers. I'm selling because not that I don't think he's going to be a good coach. He might be a good coach. Who knows? I don't think Miami can afford to take a chance on a who knows type of situation. Yeah. Their fan base has been like, oh my gosh, they needed someone. They needed to hire a John Harbaugh. I know those guys don't come along. I wish they would have pushed hard for Tomlin, and heck, I would have given anything up for Tomlin or just an experienced
McCarthy
man in the room who has led a team to victory before. And that's why I'm selling on this. Not that Hafley's going to be bad. He might not be bad, but I just don't like that you're taking a chance.
Anybody have 2 cents, or is it just bad? I think it's just bad.
Yeah, I think it's just bad. I don't think it hurts the Packers necessarily. I mean, their defense was great. Yes. I think that the Packers were hurt more because of their offensive injuries, and that won't be the case next year, hopefully. So I think the Dolphins, who have they not had? I mean, when have they not had a coach that's in their first try-me period? Like they had Brian Flores, then they had Mike McDaniels, obviously, and now this guy. He's a great DC so far of what he's shown us. Yeah, Adam Gase. Like, what the heck are they doing? Hire someone that's been here before, like Tim's saying.
Who was a train wreck on the Jets.
This is probably the most options.
Yes.
Most options you'll ever get. Most opportunities. Right. I mean, Sean McDermott has done it in that division. I mean, that's an easy poach if you want to get someone that has won games.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just embarrassing. I don't like it.
I'm sure he's a quality human being. It has nothing to do with that. It's just scratch your head. I don't think the Dolphins want to win, Tim. I don't think they care about winning. I think they're like, hey, Let's see how much revenue we can make as an owner of a team and not win anything at all. Okay, well, you're winning. Welcome to Jets land.
Yeah.
Because you're right there with us.
Unfortunately, what have they done outside of the perfect season in the Shula era and then Dan Marino era? What have they had?
With Dan Marino, they did exactly what Josh Allen did. They went to the playoffs every year and came up short every single year except for his first or second year he took them to the Super Bowl. And but again, if you're not committed, now they had Shula, then they went to Jimmy Johnson, then they tried a bunch of guys. Dave Wanstatt, who was a defense coordinator for the Cowboys for years.
They've been trying guys for 40 years.
Amen. Yeah. All right, we're moving on. Talking about trying guys. Here's the teams that do not have head coaches. The Raiders. Who wants to coach there? The Cleveland Browns. Now the Buffalo Bills, as we just mentioned. Sean McDermott. We said it. It might have been. I know I mentioned it. Stan mentioned it. Tim. I think we've all agreed over the last couple of weeks. Whoever mentioned it. When the Bills lose in the playoffs, and we knew it was coming, they would remove their coach. We've all said it for weeks. I don't know why mainstream media acts so surprised. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they moved on, just like we thought they would, and now they have an opening along with Baltimore. Now, here's one. Not going to spend a lot. Arizona's also vacant. Last one, then we'll get to our picks. I think we all agree Kevin Stefanski needed to be an early hire that the Browns are the Browns. Get him out of that wicked Browns, Jets, Titans triangle. Let's start calling that the Devil's Triangle because between those three teams, woo. And Stefanski was able to keep his defense coordinator, a guy I worked with before, Ulbrich. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And so they're already off and running, in my opinion. Here's my question. I'm not asking buying or selling because I think we all buy. Who thinks that he's going to end up going with Kirk Cousins over the young quarterback?
Ooh.
I'm going with he's going to keep Cousins because they have a history in Minnesota.
Well, I feel like that's the safer option, given the.
It's my hot take.
I kind of feel like
probably
the Bucks kind of tripped a little bit this year, and then the what's the word? The up and coming Panthers. I think this division is still wide open. I think that they know they have to be ready right now. I think Kirk Cousins gives them the best chance to win. As we saw the last month of the year, he looked pretty good. And they have one of the best running backs in the league and a bunch of weapons, and they look ready to go. So I think this is great for them. Obviously, it's not a buy or sell, but it's a buy. I think this division, they have a real shot at it. So obviously, I think they're going to start Kirk Cousins. And he's been durable. Outside of his Achilles tear, he's been very durable. So that's a big factor.
Tim?
Would you be surprised if it's plan C, if it's neither of them? Would you be surprised if he said, hey, I want to go out? I feel like there's going to be, this is probably for another episode, but I think there's going to be a huge quarterback roulette this offseason, just like there's been a coaching roulette. We talked about our boy out in CJ Stroud. I mean, he's not guaranteed, right? We've talked about Malik Willis with the Packers. I think there's some... There's going to be some quarterback, Mac Jones. I think
Lamar Jackson gets moved. That's a big one.
Well, Caleb, I was going to say, if you listen to mainstream media today, Lamar Jackson is in talks to the Raiders, allegedly.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I don't watch mainstream anything. I'm kind of a...
Yeah, I know.
And Joe Burrow, would that not surprise you? I mean, Joe Burrow, I really hope he doesn't go to, but my gosh, wouldn't he look great in Minnesota paired up with Justin Jefferson? My gosh. But if you're Stefanski, why wouldn't that be one of your pitches of like, hey, let's clear cap space and let's go crazy and make a run at Joe Burrow? Like, you're a new coach, so I actually wouldn't be surprised. I forget if it was a buy or sell, Dave, but I'm actually going. I don't think it's either. I don't think it's Cousins or Penix.
Okay.
Wow.
Josh?
I think you can add the Bengals to your triangle that you said earlier. I think it's a square. I think those four teams are
double square.
Yeah, there you go.
Ohio teams, Tennessee, and the Jets, and now the Dolphins. We can expand this into the.
This is getting bigger.
And the Cardinals are out there. Josh, you had a point before we move on.
I had a point just about the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know that Drake London started missing a bunch of time. Darnell Mooney started off missing a bunch of time. We're going to have to figure out what we're doing with Kyle Pitts. But they played the entire season without their starting right tackle, which is the priority for their left-handed quarterback. Caleb McGarry missed the entire season. So the man that has been injured famously several times, he's injured again. Does that have something to do with the weight there? Like, obviously, I think most people would just assume, he's the de facto starter because he's the guy they drafted. They paid up for him. Kirk Cousins is 37, 38 years old. Didn't look extremely good, but like you said, the ties to Stefanski make him at least relevant to that conversation. But I think they're gonna look at Caleb McGarry come back and be in practice with Michael Penix, and they're gonna feel good about how they look in the offseason.
Yeah. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. A couple storylines that are playing out. One, we said that the 14-3 Broncos lost the number. Well, they had the number 1 seed, but they lost their starting quarterback to a season-ending broken ankle. Now that means we get Jarrett Stidham, who's going to start this game. Vegas has responded by now giving New England the 5.5 point advantage in the betting line there. And I, you know what, I had the Broncos. I hope I get a mulligan because nobody said that the Broncos would be good without their starting quarterback, and they're going to face Drake May and that defense in Mile High. Only good thing is the Patriots have not won in Mile High like in decades. So if you believe in that kind of stuff, that could be something. But I personally, I'll tell you right out of the gate, it's the early game, 3 p.m. AFC Championship game. I'm going New England. I'm changing because I said Rams. I'm still sticking with the Rams. Pro tip there. But hot take, I guess. But Denver can't win without a starting quarterback. I don't see it. Who wants to go in there next?
I'll go. I'm going to go Broncos. Okay. I love the Patriots this year. I really think that if you ask me tomorrow, I'll probably say Patriots. But I think that the Broncos, their defense, we saw last week, 5 takeaways from Josh Allen. I mean, they're uncomfortable to play against. They're going to be at home. Sean Payton's probably coaching him up as we speak right now because, I mean, we've seen backup quarterbacks come in before and do magic. We watched Nick Foles do it.
That's about
Nick
it.
Foles, retired, came back, and then just started in the playoffs, and he went on a crazy run. Not saying Jarrett Stidham's that guy or that good or has the providence that Nick Foles had. Yeah, but Jarrett Stidham, it's a revenge game. It always happens. Remember the Patriots drafted him. But, yeah, I think that this defense is too good. I think Drake May is going to be a little uncomfortable. And I think he's been very, very cool this year. Hasn't really been pressured. Has been good under pressure. Hasn't made many mistakes. Has been consistently getting his 270 yards, whatever it is, every single game.
Right.
But I think that the Broncos will knock him off a little bit.
All right, Tim, to your credit, you have said, and I agree with you, you've said that the Patriots really haven't played anybody. And I agree with you. They are definitely, this should be a defensive masterclass. These two should put it on each other. That said, where are you going with this one?
Yeah, I mean, on paper, because if Bo Nix was in, it's a slam dunk. To me, it's a slam dunk.
Okay.
I'd go Denver.
Same.
Without Bo Nix, it makes it a lot tougher. But I'm still going to go Denver because my pick a few weeks ago was Denver, Seattle, and not to spoil, but I'm not straying from that because I think. And for the very reasons that you guys both just said, I think it's not usually the first position we talk about in these games is quarterback. But you look at the defenses between these two teams, and that's what I'm looking at. I actually think they're able to squeak away with like a 16-13 win or something like that. I don't see it being high scoring. I see the running backs just being able to do just enough to keep them in the game. And I think Sean Payton's a good coach. He's going to play up the underdog story that, well, everyone's written off the Broncos. They're done. And he's going to use that to motivate his team. And them being home, I think that's a big factor. I'm going to go with Denver.
All right, Josh?
I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Sorry, your reaction when it went to you. I was like,
everybody knows that they're playing against a backup quarterback now. I know he's from the Patriots. We know he played at Auburn. Bo Nix played at Auburn. That's really cool.
Yeah.
But offensively, yes, you have a backup quarterback, but we're kind of forgetting everything else that's included there. Troy Franklin left the previous game with a hamstring injury. Pat Bryant, concussion. That's his second or third this year. He's probably out for this game. Alex Forsythe, the center, he's injured as well. R.J. Harvey, he's had to start. He's a good number 2 back, in my opinion. The last 3 games, 14 for 43, 15 for 28, 6 for 20. Not efficient, not scoring the football. There's no run game there for him. 2 or 3 of their top receivers, I mentioned. J.K. Dobbins, he's opening a practice window, but
that's right.
I think they would have to rush him back, but that doesn't mean he's going to play. He's going to go into the game with no run game, potentially no center. and it's going to be Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, and Little Jordan Humphrey. They would have to activate 2 or 3 receivers to even play in this game because there's not even active receivers beyond those guys.
Yeah.
So it's problematic.
Yeah.
And maybe it helps because he's been throwing to these other receivers, Michael Bandy, Elijah Moore, A.T. Perry, as a bench player. Maybe there's chemistry there and it works out. But I just think all points on a hurt team versus a number 1 MVP candidate team with a top-level defense. I just think that the Patriots really have to mess up for this to be a loss.
Okay. All right. Our boy Ethan is going Patriots, by the way. Ethan is going Patriots. So
okay, there you go.
there it is. Okay. Let's move on to the NFC Championship game. And we have the Rams, who are visiting Seattle. Seattle's 2.5-point favorites at home. Tim has famously stuck to his guns going Seattle. I've famously stuck to my guns going with the Rams, by the way, that I think are the Super Bowl champions this year. So that leaves Caleb. Let me also digress. Ethan said, not only will the Rams win, but whoever wins the NFC Championship game wins the Super Bowl. So he's saying Rams to win the Super Bowl.
Nice.
All right. So that leaves you guys.
I'll go. I think Seattle's a great team. Obviously, they're the best team in the NFC. They got the bye. As we said, they're one of the best teams on all 3 sides of the football. I know there's 3 sides because of special teams, and they're probably one of the best ones in the playoffs right now as far as special teams goes. But I think the Rams, I mean, they're not terrible. They're really good.
No,
Puka's not going to have 50
terrible.
yards. Puka's not going to have 50 yards again. Devontae Adams is not going to have 20 yards again. Kyren Williams is not going to only have what he had. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it has to be. I think it's set up to be. And we're going to really see who Sam Darnold is, I think. I think this is going to be – I think the Rams got it by, I think, multiple possessions, I would say.
Okay.
It goes down to coaching. Sean McVay's been here, done that. He just came out of the trenches. That was 7-degree weather in Chicago where it was a hard-fought win for him. So I think that coaching-wise, he's a better coach. No shade for Seattle's coach, but I just think that's what's going to turn it down to. Matt Stafford – his receivers are not going to do what they did last week, and they did nothing. So I think that this is going to be it's going to be fun to watch, I think.
Yeah.
Josh, bring us home.
Yeah, I'm going to take the LA Rams. I picked the Rams going to the Super Bowl when you asked us originally a few weeks ago, so I'm just going to stick with it. I think the key contributor here is going to be the secondary of the LA Rams. They finished off the game against the Bears with an interception. And I think the key factor here is going to be Cam Kinchens, the safety. You look at his history against the Seattle Seahawks. Every other game, he's essentially having just an insane game. His first game against the Seattle Seahawks against Geno Smith, 2 interceptions, one for, I believe, a 99-yard touchdown. And they had a fumble return as well, so 3 turnovers. And then his game this year, first game against Sam Darnold, 2 interceptions. So he seems to have their number. I think he's going to do a great job shadowing that side wherever JSN happens to be. And I think that's obviously the number 1 player in the offense there. They're going to have to rely even more so on Kenneth Walker to be efficient and dependent in that offense. And then you look at the games that they've had already this year. I think they split with the Seattle Seahawks having that overtime short win against the Rams. I just think that the Rams play it extremely well against the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks, without Charbonnet, with the focus on JSN, I just think we can't bet on them to beat the Rams again like they did the last time. I think it's going to be more favorable for the Rams.
I think we're also understating this oblique injury because it's not going away. And it's right. It's kind of under your pec, and every time you kind of do any type of this thing, not to mention, guys, the Rams won in week 1, 21-19, and Seattle won in week 9, 38-37. So we saw both ends of the season, but it was still pretty much a 1 or 2 point game either way. Yeah. So and I like what Caleb said. I think when you look at this matchup and you say, hey, Puka and Adams were held to, nothing, virtually nothing.
70 yards combined.
That's not going to happen. It just can't happen. The laws of their own metrics say that can't happen. Sam Darnold, I love this kid. Sad to watch him get drafted 3rd overall by the Jets a few years ago. Sad to watch Carolina waste him. Sad to watch the 49ers waste him. Super happy that he got to play with Minnesota, only for them to waste him and in Seattle. bottom line, I like the kid. I think because of his injury this year, he doesn't get to play as well. He had a bad week last week, and I think that's because of the oblique. And Matty Stats wants to go out on top. He's got the drive. He's got the desire. And I think because of that, that's the Rams' path to win the Super Bowl this year, personally.
Yeah.
I think it's Cinderella
Stats.
story. I think Devontae Adams gets his ring.
Yes.
Him and Stafford just both retire, and they're done. Because that's all Adams is seeking now, obviously. And then Stafford, I don't think he really cares about stats. I think he's just trying to get another ring and be done. So
How hurt is Matthew Stafford, though? That's my question.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He looks hurt.
We've watched him
Yeah, we
die,
watch him.
and his spirit come back in his body, and he comes back out and hits Megatron for the win.
Yeah, he had a broken
good.
ribs throwing
All right.
over that
All right.
side. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna get out of that game unless there's bones hanging out. So
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what I mean. That's why
why you
that
gotta love
quarterback
him.
style is just lost. I think we need
Yeah.
more of those guys.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, Josh.
The Phillip Rivers playing with the torn ACL. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So you're saying Bo Nix
Miss
is a
it.
wimp, not playing with a broken ankle?
I think if
Get out
no,
there.
I'm not saying that. I say this is broken bone.
No.
It's different.
Yeah. Go ahead, Josh. You had your finger up.
I was just going to talk about the running back room for the Seahawks. They've had, I don't know if y'all keep track of George Halani or Kenny McIntosh, but
Never heard of them.
they've both been out. They both have injuries. They're both been on IR for a minute.
Yeah.
So it's Kenneth Walker, Valus Jones, a wide
Valus.
receiver flex.
Valus.
The guy that is
sleep
just
on
the
Valus
off-season demon, and he just can't do anything in the regular season. They have Robbie Oots, the fullback. They have Brady Russell. Don't know who he is. He's a fullback, apparently playing in the NFL. But he would be their third back. So I imagine they activate Cam Akers for this game, who
Oh man.
for God knows
Revenge game.
why, he just shows up on a playoff
revenge
team
game, yeah.
every single year and just gets carries in the playoffs. So that seems likely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should call Marshawn Lynch, see if he's available. Beast mode.
Tim, have you watched the Enigma Netflix special that came out last year?
No, it's good.
It's on Aaron Rodgers. It's like a 3-part documentary.
Oh,
You need to jump
sorry.
in.
Yeah, I haven't seen it all. I've seen clips from it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about Marshawn Lynch. I'm not from the hood. I'm not from, I didn't, I'm not down like that. I think he uses a lot of choice language. Let's say that. But somehow the way he talks makes me absolutely crack up. Like Josh and I were watching them interview him talking about his college days in California with and I don't like language. I don't use language personally, but I can't not laugh at this guy whatever he says, and it's usually foul. But he says things that are just so comical to me, and he says it like everyone talks that way. Like he has no problem
it's a
talking
totally
that way.
normal
Like this
thing.
is normal. Like nobody talks like that, bro. I mean, I'm sure someone does, but you know what I'm saying. It's just it absolutely.
yeah.
He has just such a warm spirit about him. That's just like he exists to have fun.
Yeah.
From eating Skittles on the sideline to carrying extra weight when he played a pro sport. Like, my dude don't care. It's wild watching how low-key this dude was. And I'm pretty sure he was stoned out of his mind during the interview because I've never seen him.
Yeah.
Crazy, bro.
If you want to laugh, watch him with Bear Grylls going out in the desert. It's really funny. Yeah, it's
I
really
will.
good.
I'm team Marshawn. You can have that dude do just about anything. I still can't stop when he was telling the story to Peyton Manning on his show. Peyton's Place was talking about ghost riding the whip, pulling a Cadillac or golf cart or whatever. I got to go back and look at it on the field. Like, my dude's nuts. Anyway, if you haven't, I know you're an Aaron Rodgers fan. I think a lot of people are.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah.
We decided late to the game we would, check it out. So, little side note.
Cool.
Yeah, and Hard Knocks ended abruptly because the NFC East is out of the playoffs. I think they wanted the Eagles to go so they could follow them into
it's like keep going.
Pretty crazy. All right, any closing thoughts as we get into our championship weekend, guys? We only got a couple episodes left this year.
Yeah.
It sounds like Tim wants to rewatch the 2013 season, 2014
I think
Seahawks
I do.
Broncos.
Yeah, bring it back.
beatdown.
Seahawks Broncos. We're running it back.
43-8 Seahawks.
Yeah.
He wants it.
Insane.
I think it would be actually. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, hypothetical, real quick. What if the Rams win the Super Bowl and Matt Stafford retires? What do they do at quarterback?
Oh, great question.
Yeah.
Because they'll have the last pick in the draft, obviously, and there's
Anthony
nobody
Richardson.
there. There's Anthony Richardson. I
Yeah,
think I agree with you. That's a can of worms we can get into. Because I think Sean McVay wanted them to draft him. He thinks he's one of the best quarterbacks in that class, which I kind of do too. We could talk about it another time. But
don't forget they have national champion Stetson Bennett on this team, man.
Josh Allen. Throw all your
really?
picks at the Bills. Come on.
I don't think the
5
Bills.
years of first-round picks for Josh Allen. Let's go.
I mean, it is at least on mainstream that the Raiders are trying to get Lamar. That's a rumor, of course. Well, you said, Tim, there might be a quarterback roulette. I mean, off the top of my head, I see Stroud because we've been big fans of Davis Mills all along. He's big, he's strong,
Right.
He's got a better arm than Stroud. If you're being honest, he can launch that thing.
Yep.
I don't know. I could see it. Yeah, I could see it. But who else is in that roulette?
Tua for sure is going somewhere.
I think Mac Jones has a crack at starting somewhere.
He should. He played every bit as good as Purdy did.
I mean, Mac Jones. I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones go to the Steelers.
Right, Pittsburgh's a question mark, right? Pittsburgh doesn't know who they're starting, so
there's a lot of questions. I mean, you said 10 coach vacancies. I think there's that many, like Tim said, quarterback switches. I mean, it's crazy.
Really?
It's going to be one of the best off seasons. Yeah, I think it's very exciting, especially if Matt Stafford retires. I mean, they're not just going to they're not going to start Stetson Bennett. Is what I'm saying.
I mean,
there's going to be some movement.
I see Mac Jones going more to like the Rams because he and his boy, they're Shanahan, they're bros, podcasts and everything, hang out with each other. I could see them working a deal, maybe. We got good old Trey Lance sitting there rotting away because he's not good.
Gosh.
No, you mentioned you mentioned your backup in Green Bay.
Yeah, Malik. Yeah. I think he'll be a starter, and I wouldn't be surprised if Miami traded for him because Miami's bringing the whole Green Bay. They got Green Bay's assistant as their new GM. They got our DC as their coach.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's open for a fresh start. So
I wouldn't be surprised if your DC takes Diggs with him, who just got cut because he's also terrible.
Yeah. Take him.
Take him, please take him.
There's just way too many question marks when you zoom out and look at the league. I mean, in the playoffs right now, I mean, the Stafford thing's contingent, obviously. The Steelers, we don't know. The Texans, like we said, could do anything. I feel like the Eagles could do anything right now. I don't know.
Arizona.
There's a lot going on. Arizona.
Well, Kyler's going to be on the market 100%. Kyler Murray is not going to come back.
So there's one.
Who's going to coach the Raiders? If they get Lamar? Why would he want to go there? Like, what's the?
I hate to say it, guys, but I almost see McCarthy going there at this point.
Yeah,
because they're waiting. Like we knew. I don't know what everyone else knew. Don't forget, guys, McDermott's in play somewhere, so McDermott is going to go somewhere, 100%. So we know McDermott likely McCarthy will get starting jobs. Did you mention Mike McDaniel took a job as an OC?
Chargers.
He did. Yep.
Chargers. Great. That's great.
I think we said it off air. If he stays put. And here's the thing. I think he's quirky enough. Because he interviewed with several teams more than once. I think he's quirky enough. He should be offense coordinator and not a head coach. And I think owners realize that. We didn't mention Cliff Kingsbury has left Washington, but he doesn't have a destination, and I don't think he's going to be a head coach.
No. Real quick about Sean McDermott. I think I don't really care for him as a coach. I think he's average in my opinion. But I think now that this is all over with, I think that his hands were tied a lot. I think that the ownership is out to get him or something because they promoted Sean Bean to the president of the team after that, and he hasn't drafted a receiver for Josh Allen. They haven't drafted any replacements at linebacker. They haven't put any draft capital into anything on that team. So I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, I said it off. I think I said it off air, but I was reading. I wish I had the source in front of me. I don't have time to pull it up. I was reading that basically, Tim, he had made some comments, or Josh, you probably didn't hear me say this. Allegedly, he was making comments about the inconsistencies on their roster to the point of this is why we don't win in these games because we don't have A, B, and C. And it got back around, and they had made up their mind that at this point he was public enemy number one, apparently. So I get it. Now, like you said, Caleb, in the aftermath, I agree. So here's the question about the Buffalo Bills. was he a complacent coach that is incapable of taking them to the next level, or was he handcuffed, as you said, at the GM level,
Right.
where he wasn't able to get the receivers he needs, to get the defenders that he needs to, and we will see now that he's gone. And can I say this? I just had I don't think a lot, but when I do, light bulb, I could see him going to the Ravens because they have a consistent GM.
Yeah.
And then we will see what happens there. And I think if he goes, Lamar would likely stay because solid coach, good history. He's thinking, dang, I'm getting Lamar, I'm getting Josh's coach. I might
Josh
stick
Allen to
around.
Lamar. That's pretty
The
good.
reason why he's getting fired is withdrawing a lot of the criticisms I had of him as a coach. I think that the Bills are just their front office is whack. I don't think that it's his fault. I think that it's helped me like him more. I think.
Well, we've said this over and over with the league, and we joke, but it's true. Like, they should do like soccer. The Jets could only have so many seasons of whatever metric, and you got to sell that puppy. Give a new owner a chance because I think what's happening is you get complacent being an NFL owner.
Yes.
Neat. You don't get to do anything with it. You got to sell this team. And what I mean by that is I'm convinced the Dolphins at this point, whoever the owner is, doesn't give a rip about winning. I own an NFL team. Look at me.
Yep.
Well, that's not enough. Your fans they're called fans for a reason. It means fanatic.
Yeah.
And people that are fanatic for the Fins are tired of this, just like Jets fans and Bengals fans. And, so, whew. And we mentioned too, guys, not to beat a dead horse, but of all the teams in the NFC North that got rid of coaches, all of them, one guy still standing. And he's probably the one guy that should have gotten fired.
It's AFC North, right? Is that what you mean? Yeah.
AFC North, sorry. AFC, not NFC North.
Yep.
That is nuts.
That's crazy.
But speaking of the NFC North, I mean, they probably have the best coaches in the league right now. That division is loaded.
Well, we should probably mention, Tim, you alluded last week that LaFleur was in the midst. We said that he was in the midst of a contract negotiation. They did offer him a contract extension, as we thought.
Yep, he's back. Yep.
As they should.
And they brought back.
As they should.
As they should. Yep.
I mean, he's a great
coach.
coach. What is? I don't understand why. I mean, I guess it was more of the fans or just the media stoking flames. But why would you move on from someone like that? I mean, I don't understand.
Well, let me ask you this.
It's a can't get over the hump. It's a little bit of a Tomlin thing, But yeah.
So check this out, and again, my brain is as you're bringing this up, Caleb. The Bears are going to run it back. They're not doing anything different. They're just going to run that back.
I mean, they had their left tackle in and out this year. They didn't have their linebackers most of the year. Their wide receiver room has been banged up. I mean, they're only going to get better in that system. I think I don't know.
Okay, so here's my point.
Crazy.
In the NFC North, because I misspoke and called the AFC North NFC, they're going to run it back. The Packers are going to run it back. They're going to get healthy. They're going to get Parsons back. They're going to run it back. They're both going to be fine.
Their offense healthy is one of the better teams in the league, I think. But we didn't see them all at full strength.
So to be fairness, we haven't seen the Lions at fair strength because they've been injured this year as well. So those three teams, they're running it back. That leaves the Vikings. If they go with J.J. McCarthy, fire everybody because you're a bunch of idiots. But if they get a quarterback like a Stroud, can Kevin do something with them? What's the offense coordinator?
Joe Burrow, like Tim said.
Well, here's my thing. Like, they might get a Tua. They could get a Tua. He's free right now.
That's scary.
Tua and that system. If they go with J.J. McCarthy, what are they doing? Because you have three teams in that division that should be Super Bowl odds-on favorites to get there. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a nightmare in your division next year, Tim. A nightmare.
The NFC North is going to be the NFC West of this year, I think, and possibly even better.
But the NFC West is not going to get worse. Nothing's going to change.
I know.
So
unless Stafford retires.
Yeah.
Okay. But then they can get Tua or something like that.
So good, right? I know.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
So good.
It's a lot.
So good.
You're right. So we'll end on this note. The beautiful thing about the terrible end to the NFL season, because here's all we have to look forward to. We have championship weekend. We get awards for what that's worth. The players get named, whatever. And we get a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl, that's for nerds like us, but we know it's not anything. And then essentially Josh's favorite day of the year, the Combine, draft day.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got a little bit. So it's good that we can speculate. And I guess the season doesn't officially end until March 1st, the new year or something like that, Josh?
Yeah.
You had a point. Go ahead.
I did. I just was digging up some things about these head coaches. Sean McDermott, right? He's probably the biggest veteran coach available. He's probably going to have a job.
9-year veteran.
you look at somebody like the Raiders. They still have their GM. Everyone else is gone.
Okay.
If you don't know, his name is John Spytek, which whatever you want to think about that. But he started as an intern with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2005 and became a college scout assistant and then a college scout and moved up through the Buccaneers. But anyways,
Okay.
he joined the Eagles at the same time that Sean McDermott was there as a scout, which he soon became assistant head coach and then quality control of the defense and then slowly defense until he was defensive coordinator. So he's very familiar with Spytek, John Spytek rather. But also, you look at Sean McDermott and what he did as a player. He played at William and Mary. He had a short overlap with Mike Tomlin there. Yeah, he was a safety playing against Mike Tomlin. So they're familiar there. I don't know if that means anything for the Steelers franchise, but to personally know Sean McDermott and for him to also be a veteran and see and obviously witness what they've done on the Buffalo Bills makes him a candidate, I would say, for either one of those teams just by connections. But that doesn't mean anything, but those are the connections that he has.
The Always Sunny in Philadelphia guy with the strings everywhere.
Yeah.
And the bags under his eyes.
He's like connecting.
So, Josh, let me ask you at this point, if you had to wager that Flores or now McDermott would be the head coach or someone else in the Pittsburgh Steelers, light bulbs, man, light bulbs. Who do you think is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers based on who's available?
I would just say that it's Brian Flores. I think that he has a higher reputation, I would guess, at this moment. I know Sean McDermott was there for a decade and he did good, but I mean, it really picked up when Josh Allen was there. Brian Flores did very well with the Dolphins. He was actually with the Steelers that year that he got dumped from the Dolphins, so he's familiar with the franchise there. He's a younger guy. I know he's mid-40s. Younger as far as head coaching candidates goes. I think he has more familiarity. He has more recent success, I would say, and he's a hot head coaching candidate, at least for this term. I think you feel better about a new face than you would someone like Sean McDermott, even though I think the results might be pretty similar. But I would say Flores, but I wouldn't be surprised with Sean McDermott because of what he's done the last 10 years.
I don't see him as a Raider because that Raider mystique is very much alive, and they need somebody that's, for lack of better words, obnoxious and boisterous because that's a Raiders persona. Pittsburgh is class, defense, and I think both McDermott and Flores both fit the bill for a respected, calm disposition person that's going to come mild-mannered, that's going to lead strongly behind the scenes. So I could go
Don't
either way.
sleep on Jesse Minter. You know that name? Jesse Minter? Yeah, defensive coordinator from Chargers. I wouldn't sleep on him either.
Yeah.
He could wind up in Baltimore or Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. But
there's so many moving parts.
There's a lot of moving parts.
Awesome.
Lots of speculation, lots of speculation. So let's close with this. We have championship weekend coming up. We'll be back to recap it, to talk about Super Bowl matchups. We will have a week in between with which, Caleb, we can fill a lot of information up and talk about a lot of things like those things. By then, my guess is, because there's several good coaches and now still, I think, 6 coaching vacancies or 5, we still have a lot of ground to make up in the next few weeks. So, again, we appreciate you tuning in. If you're a fan of the show, we'd appreciate if you like and subscribe. It really does help us out. It's available on YouTube and anywhere you listen to podcasts. So, guys, as always, thank you, and we'll catch you next time on Guys Without Helmets.